guys and girls, welcome back. I'm Twist, and you are watching the UBIE 1956 Willys Wagon project. 110 RC build, but it's metal, aluminum, as you already know. However, so this pile is going to become UBIE, but I had a little issue. I made some mismeasurements and so on, so we're going to have a little walk over here, and there's UBIE. Now, I made a big goof, but the thing is, I look at this and I'm just really not happy. It is not terribly strong. It's not as strong as I want it. There's a mistake on there. So guess where UBIE 1.0 is going? He's going there. So let's take a walk back over here and meet UBIE 2.0. My God, that is a hell of a lot stronger. So yeah, it's still a little warm. Ooh, yeah, so I ain't going to touch it just yet, except on this end. So I've already got the roof, and as you can see here, actually here, the windshield pillars, wow, that's still a little warm, and the windshield pillars bent and formed in. So this is going to be the entire back end of UBIE. The lift gate, tailgate, rear bumper, and so on will attach to this piece down here, which is actually cool to the touch. Well, almost. Anyway, it is the same half-inch square steel tube, 1/8 thick wall that I made voodoo out of. And it's just going to give me a lot more support, gives me a lot more to attach hinges and so on to, and it just gives me warm fuzzies all over to know that UBIE is going to be wickedly strong. I do not like wimpy, ergo I do not like plastic. Y'all know that. That is why I am going to go wickedly strong here on Voodoo, on every vehicle I do anyway, but I wanted to go more wickedly strong on UBIE's. He is now wickedly strong. Twist is a happy camper. And of course that means I'm going to have to do a whole new roof panel. No big deal, I can have that knocked out in about an hour. So let's get to it. What do you say?
Just cutting out the roof panel here, making it all nice and square so that I can do all the measuring and the metal work on it with the hammer. And actually, I usually use my anvil to form in all of this stuff. The anvil that you can just barely see in the background under my arm back there. But so that I can film it, I do use my vise for a lot of the small body lines on the RCs. So that's why you see me here up at the vise and adjusting it. I do actually measure it out to make sure I get the gap I want, or the width of crease I want, and that sort of thing. So between the vise and the anvil, and of course the hammer and dolly, that's how I do all the body work on all of our RCs. And we will continue on.
Okay, so we got UBIE's side panel done here, and I've got the windows marked out with a little bit of hammer and dolly work here, and of course these will be replaced by tinted Lexan. The roof connects to the side panel. This will get welded on solid so that we have a solid joint all the way down, and of course the tailgate and the lift gate will get added on. Of course there's a little hole there, yeah, so a little bit of patchwork, a little bit of hiding, Little tiny bit of body fill isn't going to hurt anything. It won't add any extra weight. Presently, right now, I am just shy of 2 pounds, so she's not too bad weight-wise either. This is just basically it's flat sheet aluminum from heat ducting is all it is. It's like about a 20 gauge or 22 gauge, real thin stuff. You know, you can even just bend it just with your fingers almost, yeah. So, little scrap piece here, just to show you, you can actually bend it just by your hand, yeah. So, yeah, it's not very thick stuff, but it works really excellent on the RC cars because it keeps the weight down, yeah? And of course everybody's all about keeping the weight down, and that's why they don't like metal. Well, this is why I do like metal, is because I can get all of this detail, which it is not done yet, admittedly. There's a lot more detail to go besides this little body line along here and the windows and the roof ridges and so on. But I can get as much detail on this as any molded plastic. I can do it with aluminum, I can do it with steel, and the weight is minimal, negligible. UBIE, I will be willing to bet, will come in under 10 pounds. So I guess as far as a crawler goes, he would be considered a heavyweight, but with a gear reduction unit on the motor, you're never going to notice the weight anyway. It will be absolutely negligible. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is coming out, and I got to continue on to the left side. So this gives you an idea of the interior of UBIE. This will be how much space is going to be available to hide electronics and so on, and still have a full interior that looks like a one-to-one vehicle inside when you open the door. Of course, in the real Willys wagon, this window slides, so I am unsure what I'm going to do here yet, or if I'm going to make it slide. I kind of think it's a bit pointless, but I do love the realism, so I will make it at least look like it slides. If not, it will slide. And we're going to frame these out, like I say, with some Lexan, but we're going to frame that out with some nice trim and make it look really sexy. And yeah, we've got a really good departure angle at the back so far. It's not going to be too long. This whole assembly here is 9 inches, just so y'all know. The roof, the curve in the windshield pillars here is right at 30 degrees, which is exact to the 1-to-1 scale Willys. And of course then I'm going to redo the hood because, well, I wasn't happy with the hood. I could do a better job. I know the old hood looked good. I've still got it. And where is it? It's here somewhere. I was just looking around the shop to see where the hell I laid it, but I've still got it. So it's not like, you know, I've chucked it away or anything. It's just I'm not really happy with it. So I'm going to do a better job and a nicer job for Tams and make her the sexiest 56 Willys wagon ever, you know, or at least RC-wise. So yeah. Let me continue on with the left side, and we'll see how much more we get on this video. So, back in a while.
This aluminum on this this particular model, UBIE, is, like I was saying before, it's sheet metal for ducting work. It's very thin. I'm not even sure of its exact gauge. I believe it's probably a 21 or 22 gauge, which in the metal world is very, very thin. So rather than trying to weld it, I sometimes do use my torch to do this, but basically just running solder on it and just solder all the joints together.
Alrighty, so we got UBIE's right side of the cab done as well. It's going to take obviously a little bit more finish work, but basically there's the wagon part of UBIE. And I've also got his front grille mount started here. Haven't decided yet how I am going to connect the two. Still deciding on that. But that's about as far as we're going to get on this video with UBIE anyway. And yeah, because this is going to start getting a little long. As you can see, lots of space inside for doing all kinds of interior decoration, as well as hiding batteries, hiding electronics, that sort of thing. The back will work out perfectly for tail lights, tailgate, that sort of stuff. The 56 Willys the 56 Willys, if I could talk today, again, I'm stumbling over my tongue. The 56 Willys didn't really have a lot in the way of lighting on the back anyway. It had one brake light, and the rest of it is kind of, anytime you see them as aftermarket add-on. It had a couple of little clearance lights sometimes, but it basically only had the one brake light and a lamp over the tail light. Back in the 50s, they obviously didn't put a lot of stock into brake lights, stopping, all of that sort of thing. I had a 51 Merc M1 pickup at one time in my life when I was a little younger, and at the time I didn't realize that they didn't put a ton of stock into lighting, especially marker lights, like, hey, I'm turning right now, hey, I'm turning left, by the way, I'm stopping. That's kind of the way it was. It was just merely a suggestion. There wasn't a whole lot in the way of safety lighting or anything on these old girls, but I can't help it. I love them. They're dear to my heart, and mostly because I'm pretty sure I was supposed to have been born sometime in the 20s, and should probably be underground by now, but I'm not, thankfully, and I will just live vicariously through my RCs. Alrighty, well, that's about it, I think, for this episode. So if I forget to mention it to y'all, thank you for watching, appreciate the support, and we will see you in the next video. This has been Twist with YYC Designz, Custom RC Creations. It's bright, it's sunny out here in Calgary, it's 24 degrees. I'm gonna go trailing. We'll talk to you later. Take care.
Decided to put the hood on here for you as well because, well, I had the panel sitting there and I'm a little OCD about these things, and it kind of drove me nuts that I had it all ready to go and I hadn't finished it yet. And it's a little bit of a bonus footage for you anyway, so sped up the motion on it just to make it a little bit quicker. But you know, I gotta admit, I really love the hoods on these older vehicles anyway. They're not all jazzed up with all these fancy options and stuff. That being said, I'm going to talk to Tams. I might put some louvers in it like I had on version 1. I don't know. Undecided yet. We'll see what happens. But sometimes I think simpler is sexier, you know? You don't have to always have all of these, I guess I'll say, options or bling attached to panels to make them have really, really sweet lines and just look totally wicked on a vehicle, no matter what vehicle they're on. But I do gotta admit, I really have always liked the hoods on the Willys wagons. It's just something about the shape that just gets me going on, and I just think it's a very sexy hood, but that's just me. Anyway, tomorrow is Friday, here in Calgary, it is nice and sunny, and no matter where y'all are in the world, I hope it's nice and sunny and warm, and you can just get out and enjoy the RC hobby no matter what facet of it you're into, whether that be flying, driving, boating, doesn't matter. Just get out, enjoy the weather, and enjoy your RCs and just have a lot of fun and have a good weekend. This has been Twist with YYC Designz, Custom RC Creation. Y'all are watching the UBIE 1956 Willys Wagon project, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Thank y'all to our subscribers for your continued support, and we really appreciate it more than we can really say. Y'all take care, be good, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.
Let's creep while you and me repeat. This bittersweet heat is suffocating. I'm waiting and always hesitating. Kryptonite desires set my heart afire. Heart on fire. Set my heart afire. Still, don't stop that thrill. My bones crave your skin. Temptation within. Mistakes ignite the silence.